Greetings. My name is David Koehn, and this is
Josh Murrell from Five Guys.
Today we're going to be talking about using analytics to increase the impact of your L&D budget with a focus on analytics in action with Five Guys in particular. If you would like to contact us, my Twitter account is @DavidKoehn.
And my Twitter account is JO Murrell.
So when we talk about HR analytics, one of the market-focused analysts named Naomi Bloom has a sort of prediction about the future. Can HR departments, can learning departments create an ROI for their initiatives? So this is a good question to ask yourself, and Saba Analytics and Saba and its analytics tool have a vision for this future. We believe in our vision that there should be a level of personal analytics for the individual, team analytics for the group, organizational analytics for larger sections of a company, as well as benchmarks against industry for organization, as well as industry-wide and system-wide analytics for systems themselves. So when the individual comes into the company, in this case, our new sales rep, Carlos, he asks himself, how can I prove myself? How can I communicate my value to my stakeholders? He asks critical questions that analytics should be able to communicate to his stakeholder how he's doing and how he's reached a level of effectiveness. Reaching effectiveness and communicating value to stakeholders is not only for the individual, but also for the manager or group. The manager of a group, in this case our manager Jane, asks key questions such as, how do I keep the best people engaged so that they are less likely to leave the company? With that in mind, she's interested in analytics that communicate her retention rate. With these kinds of questions being asked, this all rolls up to an overall view of the organization from the GM's perspective. What is his perspective? His perspective is, how do I find and keep the people who are going to innovate for my business? So he looks out across all of the groups, which are composed of all the individuals, and he looks for key metrics that he can drive in order to succeed. And this is a key aspect of analytics. The best practices around this involve identifying a key metric and driving towards that key metric. This is not only true for the business line, but also for IT. In HRIT, what do users like best about a system? How do you know the answer to that? You ask the question, and the system should give you that data back. This means when you look at analytics across your implementation, that analytics will provide information about how it provides value to stakeholders for individuals, managers, HR and LD organizations, as well as executives. This means that analytics will inform everyday work. You should be looking at your social data, your informal data, as well as your formal data to gather the transactional information that you can correlate to your key metrics to make sense of your business. At Saba, with 1,500 customers worldwide, 22 million end users, 6 million in the cloud, we've come to learn that there's a measure of engagement that we like to call the people quotient. Instead of IQ, we call it PQ. This composite score measures all of the dimensions of learning, effectiveness, informal engagement, profile completion, skills, in order to achieve something that gives a picture of the engagement of that individual, for the group, or for the organization. If your PQ score is high, you are likely to correlate to the business's strategic objectives. We have a sort of vision for this about how a PQ score will manifest inside your profile, inside of a team page. We have a vision of how the team's value can be communicated based on its PQ. PQ is only a recommendation. Many people have different ways of measuring the key metric for their business. And analytics in the Saba People Cloud will include many ways to look and move data from across the entire platform, social, formal, and informal, in order to measure what it is that's important to you and correlate to that to your key metric. Whether it be performance rating distribution by manager or certifications dashboards, in either case, at a click of a button, we can roll up the transactional information to connect to the key metric that's going to make the most difference for your stakeholder. With that, that's a vendor's perspective, and we understand it's aggregate data. what's very interesting is then connecting this information to a customer of our Five Guys. There's a URL here to connect to the case study. But with that, and with no more further ado, I'd like to introduce Josh Murrell, who will talk about how they've identified a key metric and made sense of that in their learning and development organization.
Thank you, David. So a little bit about me. Five Guys is a family-owned business, and my dad and my uncles are the Five Guys. So I've grown up in the business, and I've had the opportunity of working in the stores since I was very young. So I've got a lot of experience with operations. And Five Guys opened its stores in 1986, and we didn't start franchising until 2002. And in 2002, we only had 6 stores. So that's from 6 stores to now, in 2011, we've grown to 890 stores. Now, all of that growth has caused for some issues with training and consistency. So with that, we had to develop Five Guys University. And Five Guys University is joint with our training department, and we built a learning management system for every single employee. What we really wanted to do is create a system that trained each and every single person, the guy cooking the burgers, the guy on the register, how to really cook the burger the way the Five Guys really want them to do. So what do? We recorded the Five Guys and cooking the burgers and actually telling them why we do things the way we do them. So right now we have 24,000 users in the system. As a company, we're at 87% completion, and we have 8 core courses. So every single employee needs to take all 8 courses. They range from things like the Grill Side Chat, which is a conversation with our COO and my grandfather about why Five Guys does things a certain way. We really want our employees to understand why they're doing the things they're doing. You know, why we don't have a milkshake. Why is it important to have a clean bathroom? And then we also have the basic courses for prepping the food, cooking the burgers, cleaning the store. And those are, naturally going to be there to show people how they should be done the Five Guys way. The one thing we did learn is that people do not read. So we put everything in video format. We used to have an operations manual which had all the exact same content, but nobody would read it. So the result was you could go to one store and the way they were cooking a burger was completely different from another store. Well, this solved that. Having every single employee go into the system and take a course on how to properly cook the burger and see the Five Guys actually show them how to cook a burger really drove that through and drove effectiveness, and it made the stores extremely efficient. So we were able to invest in that learning management system and give courses in 3 different languages. Just to go to the efficiency of the system, as of 3 months ago, we only had 1 administrator. I was administering the entire system for about 3 years. So it was very easy to use. We set up a data connection with our back office system that allowed for us to download all the people on a daily basis. So this is a system that stores are already using, so we took that data and just put it in the system. This made for getting people in the system extremely easy, getting their information there, very easy and very efficient. And it did it very fast. There's a 3-day lag from the time they're added to the back office system to the time that they're able to take courses in the store. If there was an administrator adding that in, it would take a lot longer, because at the rate we're growing at 5 stores every week. So that's a lot of new employees to add into the system. So if we were doing that one by one, and I was the only person doing it, the turnaround time would take a lot longer. So there's a lot of efficiencies there, and the system doesn't break very often. It's running smooth all the time, so we don't really have many support issues to take care of. We also set up a Skillsoft integration. And the Skillsoft integration is for our upper management, our district managers, our corporate trainers, and our regional managers. And this allowed for them to take courses based on areas that they needed development in. For example, things like leadership, communication, management skills. All of those things are courses that we assign to our district managers, and it's integrated to Skillsoft. And this allows for even easier administration because we're not maintaining the courses and we're not downloading the content. we're just simply assigning the course to the person. When they launch it, it loads up on the Skillsoft server, and it reports back to the Saba LMS system, our university. So what are the results? Our key metric is our secret shopper program. Now, every single Five Guys gets shopped twice a week. So we created a competition out of the secret shopper program. They come in, the staff does not know who they are, and they give the customer experience. They tell us based on criteria that we have what their experience was at a Five Guys. And it's completely subject to the secret shopper itself. We really wanted it to be open to their experience and what they thought. They do have criteria that they have to meet, but we wanted that natural feedback. So we created a competition out of this where every single store is in competition for bonus money. So we have a ranking system. Every week we post rankings for stores that just got shopped. So for example, our top 200 stores, if they were in the top 200, the shifts that got shopped, they get to split from anywhere between 900 to 1,200 to 1,500, depending on their volume of their store. So it's extra money in their pocket, and it's incentive to do things the right way. Well, what we found in stores that are 100% complete in LMS compared to stores that are less than 10% complete is that there's a 4.77% difference in those stores. Stores that are 100% complete are doing almost 5% better on average on their secret shopper scores. Now that's pretty big when you consider that our average is 94% on secret shoppers as a company. So, increasing 5% is huge. Just for being trained properly, those employees are given the incentive to do the things the right way. They know how to do things the right way, and they're getting money for it. So they get that ownership feeling in the stores. So our future goals for the system are to add some more core courses for our learners, the basic learners, still the employees. We want to add courses on our beverages, a little more detail on cleaning, why it's not so much how to mop a floor, but why is it important to keep your store clean? What impression does that give your customers? And how does that drive sales? We want to add some more courses where they just get the feedback from the Five Guys, where they can see what they look for. When a Five Guy or myself goes into a Five Guys, what is it that we're looking at? What is that experience that we're going for, and how do you get there? And then what is that going to do for you? We're also looking at adding some store management courses. Right now, our certification process for managers is done manually. It's still pencil and paper. Either a district manager goes to the store and does the training there, or the managers come to our corporate headquarters and they get trained on a week-long program, and then they take a test in paper, and if they pass, they get their certificate. We want to take that system where they still have the in-person training, but supplement it with some online training meshed in, and then have the exam done online. So what is that going to do for us? It's really going to allow for us to enable recertification process and refresher courses. So we know when a manager was certified, and we know that it's been 3 years since they've taken a course. We want to take and then they can go back and do a refresher. They need to get a refresher because things change. We've added new content, and it's always good because you get in your ruts, and we want to get people out of that. So keeping them sharp is a number one priority with that new store management courses. Same thing goes with having the staff retake their courses. That's going for the regular employees as well. We want to same concept. We want to keep the employees sharp on how to cook the burgers properly and make sure that they're actually doing it the right way and that they haven't slipped into a bad habit. We're also looking at adding into some simulation courses to give people the opportunity to, more on the franchise side and the operator side, but how to run a store. What are the key metrics, the decisions that you're going to be making in upper management that's going to affect your store? So we want to be able to do a year-long program. It'll run in an hour, but you'll be able to run through this game and you'll make decisions. You'll be able to select your location. You'll be able to select your management, and then you'll be able to decide how many people you want to open the store with. All of these things are going to roll into how your store runs, how it operates, and what sales, if they go up, go down, if your EBITDA goes up, goes down. All the things are going to be affected by your pricing adjustment, your focus on cost of goods, your focus on training. So those are the things that we're working on with the simulation area. Of course, mobile functionality is huge. Being young, I have a strong push towards being able to access things on the go. Sitting behind a computer isn't the fastest and most efficient way to get things done. So optimizing our courses and our system to be functional on mobile phones and tablets is a huge push on our end right now. As we get bigger, it's going to be extremely important, especially in rural areas where you're having internet connectivity issues, that we're flexible on allowing people to take courses not only in the store but at home, on the go, at the coffee shop, whatever's easier for them. As long as they're learning the content, it's okay. And of course, we retro pay back for the amount of time that it took to take those courses. And then the last thing we're looking at in the very near future, hopefully, is social enterprise technology. My thought here is we have so many emails going back and forth from store managers to people at the corporate office and district managers. And it's just information in the system that people they're not able to access. It's stuck on my inbox and your inbox. Why not take that and make it available to everybody so that those emails don't have to get sent? Instead, they could just do a quick search on the answer they're looking for, and that discussion that happened with somebody else is already there. And more than one person has had the opportunity to participate in it. That's the idea behind that. We want people to move away from email and take that information and post a question as a discussion, allow other people to answer it and rate it, and then being able to search for documents or knowledge or content experts. If your answer isn't there under your search, well, you're going to see the person who's the expert. That's who you're going to ask. Now, you might think, why would I want to do that? Well, right now, our stores, it takes a general manager, if they have a question, they ask their district manager. If the district manager doesn't know, they ask somebody at the corporate office. Anybody at the corporate office. It doesn't matter who, they just know that they're going to find the answer. So then that person goes around and finds the knowledge expert, and then that person gets back to the store manager. Why not get rid of all the people in the middle and allow the general manager to post a question and the content expert answer it back? That's our idea with the social enterprise technology. So we have a lot of things going on in our company, and we're opening, like I said, at a rate of 5 stores a week. We're anticipating 200 to 250 stores every year. And with that, we need to be as efficient and as effective in our training processes as possible. With that, I'd like to thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure. David?
Thank you very much for understanding better how to leverage your investment in L&D using analytics. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, for attending.